friends. Today we're going to learn about three-dimensional shapes. For short, 3D shapes. Now, before Ms. Keesee gets started, I do want to say a quick reminder. If at any point in time during this lesson you want to pause to give yourself a break, please do this. We are condensing a few days worth of lessons into one video. Remember, a mini lesson is only supposed to last between 7 and 10 minutes, so feel free to take a break. Here we go, 3D shapes. Before we learn about the 3D shapes, let's go ahead and have a jam session with a song that will help us learn some of the different names of those 3D shapes. Here we go.
I'm a 3D shape expert. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. A baseball, the moon, and an orange I have right here are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a sphere. A basketball, the earth, and marbles I have here are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a sphere. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. A soda can, a pencil shaft, and a can of soup would be examples of a cylinder, as you can plainly see. A marker, a glass of milk, and a peanut butter jar are all examples of a cylinder. Yes, I'm sure they are. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. An ice cube, a cardboard box, and a Christmas present for you are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cube. My little dice, a sugar cube, and blocks that I use are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cube. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. An ice cream cone, a pencil tip, and a megaphone are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cone. A birthday hat, a traffic cone, or a funnel in my home are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cone. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. A paperweight, Egyptian pyramids, and some tents would be examples of a pyramid, as you can plainly see. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone.
I don't know about you, but I sure did enjoy that 3D shape song. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. Well, let's do a quick review based on what we heard from the song. We heard a sphere, just like a ball. We heard a cylinder. We heard a cube and a cone and a pyramid. But one thing that we also did not hear about is we didn't hear about rectangular prism. Woo, that's a big kid word. Can you try to say that with me? Rectangular prism. Now, rectangular prism and cubes are kind of like brothers. One's the big brother and one's the little brother. They're very similar, but the only thing that's a little bit different is that the base of these 3D shapes are a little bit different. If you remember your 2D shapes, what is the base of a cube? If you said square, kiss your brain. The base of a rectangular prism is kind of in the name. We can see that the base is a rectangle. Well, now let's learn about some defining and non-defining attributes about these shapes. Remember, a defining attribute is any clue that you hear that helps your brain know exactly what that shape is. A non-defining attribute is a clue that you hear that does not tell your brain what the attribute is. So let's hear some defining attributes. All 3D shapes have this fancy word called vertices. A vertices is where 3 lines meet on a shape. So if you look at this picture, it's where this line meets, and that top line. Let's use a cube as an example. A vertice is a fancy way of saying corner. So if we're looking at this 3D shape, this corner, this vertice, is where these 3 lines meet. So a cube has how many vertices? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So vertices is a fancy way of saying corners, where those lines meet. Now edges, if you're familiar with 2D shapes, the edges are kind of like the sides of this 3D shape. An edge is the straight line where 2 surfaces meet. So these straight lines of a 3D shape are called the edges. Now, we're looking at the cube. I'm going to look at this last question right here because it says, how many bases or faces? Let's learn what that is. A base is the surface of a shape where it is standing. So, pretty much the base of a 3D shape is that big flat part that can help that 3D shape stand. As you can see on a cube, it's filled with tons of faces and bases because they are all flat. Whereas on a cone, how many bases are there? There's just one. You can say base because that's where it stands. But for a cube, these flat parts can also be faces because that's the wide part. Now, let's learn about some of the defining attributes of these 3D shapes. Let's start off with a cone. How many faces are in a cone? Well, we talked about that. There's 1. A vertex. It says that there's 0. Well, based on my background knowledge, I know that a vertex, a vertice, is where 3 sides meet, so that's a corner. Do you see a corner, a vertice on this shape? No, there's not a vertice because there's no straight edges. This might look like a corner or a vertice, but it is not because there's no straight edges to connect it to. So how many vertex or vertices are there? 0. Can it roll? Well, I know that the shape can roll because there are no edges. Can it slide? It sure can. Can it stack? No, it can't because there is a point at the top. There's not a flat base, a flat surface. So let's check out another 3D shape. Our friend, the cube. What says for faces? That there are 6. Remember, the face is that wide, flat surface where it can stand. So, not saying that the smartboard is wrong, but let's just check. Let's count together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 faces. Now we count the vertices together. Remember, the vertices are where the 3 sides meet. That's the corner. And we knew that in a cube, there were 8. Can it roll? No. Talk with a family member about why you think a cube cannot roll if I were to place it on the ground. Can it slide? Yes. It can slide but not roll because there's still a flat base. I can still slide it over my hand or on the ground. Can it stack? Definitely, because there are flat faces that will help it stand. Now what you're going to notice is that a rectangular prism and a cube have the same defining attributes. Now we talked about how they were similar already. So I want you to pause the video for a second and talk with a family member about why you think a cube and a rectangular prism's defining attributes are the exact same. Friends, great job. Yes, they have the same defining attributes because even though the base is a different 2D shape, it still has the same traits. Still the same amount of faces, still the same amount of vertices and edges, just a different base. Great job. Now let's talk about a pyramid. This is a pyramid. Let's count the amount of faces that it has. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Vertices? It also has 5. Can it roll? No, I know that it has a face, so it's going to be kind of tricky to roll. Can it slide? Definitely. That face helps it slide across a flat surface. Can it stack? Probably not. Now, we've been talking about a lot of defining attributes, but let's talk about a non-defining attribute. Remember, a non-defining attribute is a clue that does not help your brain know what shape it is. A good non-defining attribute for this pyramid would be that it is brown. Another non-defining attribute could be it is hard. Can you give your family members a non-defining attribute about this pyramid? All right, friends, we are almost done. Now we're going to learn about a cylinder. A cylinder. Now, faces, I want for you to count the faces all by yourself. Can you show a family member with your fingers how many faces? Good job, friends. Vertex, well, I know there's no vertices because I don't see any straight what? Edges. That's right. Good job. Can it roll? It sure can because it doesn't have any edges. I know it can roll. Can it slide? I know it can slide because it has a flat face. And can it stack? Yes, because it has those flat faces. So this cylinder is actually pretty cool because it can roll, slide, and stack. Last but not least, let's learn about our friend, the sphere. Now, I know that you've seen tons of different examples of spheres in your home. Maybe you've seen them outside. It looks like a big ball, like a big globe. A sphere. Faces, how many, friends? 0. Vertex, do you see any corners? Definitely not. 0. Can it roll? Absolutely, just like a bowling ball. Can it slide? No. Why can't it slide? That's right. It's because there are no faces. There's not a flat surface for it to slide on. Can it stack? Unless you worked at a circus, I don't think this sphere can stack. Now what I want you to do is I want you to give your family member a non-defining attribute for this shape. Remember, something that does not help your brain know exactly what the shape is. Great job, friends. Now, friends, what we're going to do is we're going to look for some real-world examples of these different 3D shapes. Let's quickly review the different names of the 3D shapes that we've learned about. We learned about a cone. Good, I want you to try to beat me. Cube, that big word. Rectangular prism. Ooh, kiss your brain if you got that one. Cylinder. Sphere. Good job. Now the one that they are leaving out, can you tell a family member or your teacher what this shape is? Yes, it is a pyramid. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort. Remember, sort means to put in groups. We're going to sort these pictures of real-world examples of 3D shapes underneath the correct category that it goes in. So first, we have a megaphone. I know you guys have seen Miss Keesee's megaphone at recess. A megaphone. If we're looking carefully, what 3D shape is it? It is a cone. Good. I see a flat face on the end and no vertices or edges. So we're going to put it underneath cone. Boop. Ooh, I see a dice. A dice is similar to a Cube. That's right. Now, as Miss Keesee is pointing to a picture, I want for you, again, let's make it like a little competition. I want for you to try to beat me. I'm going to point to a picture, I'm going to say the name, and I want for you to tell a family member what 3D shape it is. You ready? Trash can. Cylinder. Good job. Ooh, can. Also a cylinder. You're killing it. Ooh, a box for a tie. I'm going to drag it over so you can see. Look at the shape. Rectangular prism. That big word. Globe. Yes, it is a sphere. Good job. 8-ball from pool. Also a sphere. Wonderful. Ice cream cone. Yep, you heard it in the name. It is a cone. Can of paint. That's right, friends. A cylinder. Ooh, a chest. Rectangular prism. Great job. We're so close to being finished. A little gift box. It is a cube. Wonderful. A packing box. Also a cube. Wonderful. A party hat. Good job. It's a cone. 2 more. Ready? Soccer ball, sphere. Good job. Which makes, last but not least, this milk carton a rectangular prism. High five yourself.